Hello, dear students. Very good evening, all of you. I'm Chartered Accountant and Company Secretary Pavan Gahukar. Welcome to CSEET class for economics. Hello, hi Subramanyam. All right then, chalo. All right, let's get going. Very good evening, all of you. Hello, hi Harshita. Hello, dear students. Very good evening, all of you. I'm Chartered Accountant and Company Secretary Pavan Gahukar. Welcome to a class for CSEET economics, and yes, you're on to the very first level EET, and yeah, we are gonna cover economics. Yeah, whenever you study economics, a point of view is always, the perspective is always business. We have started with the very first chapter, supply and demand, the basics of demand and supply and forms of market competition. We have studied a little bit here, why it should we study economics for citizenship, economics for achieving social change, personal and professional development, tools for rational thinking. All right, and we have seen what economics is, how it solves economic problems. All right, we have seen this. Scarcity and choice makes economics what economics is. All right, then we studied the nature of economics. We studied whether economics is an art or a science, studied it, and gradually we learned that it is a combination. All right, then we had seen whether economics is positive or normative. Again, the answer comes down to it is both. Then we studied the various branches of economics, scope of economics, the various branches. We studied micro, macro, international public finance, development economics, environmental economics, and urban and rural economics. All right, all these areas we had seen. Then we had seen the various types of economic system and the workings of economic system. Can you answer me? What are the various types of economic systems? Anyone? The various types of economic systems are capitalist economy, mixed socialist economy, and mixed economy. All right, we have seen this, and in the last class we had seen the core of this chapter. Very good, Harshita. We had seen the core of the chapter, demand. What is the law of demand? What does the law of demand say? The law of demand, the law of demand says quantity demanded is inversely proportional to the price. Quantity demanded is inversely proportional to price. We had seen the exceptions of the law of demand. All right, and we had also seen that there are some assumptions as far as ceteris paribus is concerned. Whenever we say that there is inverse relation, we have to check that there is no change in the consumer's income, no change in the consumer preference, no change in the fashion, no change in the price, no expectation of the future prices, no change in the size, age composition, gender ratio, no change in the range of goods, no change in the distribution of income and wealth, no change in the government policy, and no change in the weather conditions. Okay, so yeah, then we studied supply. Supply, it's simple. Uh, the pricey the product is, greater will be the quantity supplied. It has also got its own assumption, and this is how the demand curve is, and this is how the supply curve is. When we bring it both together, we'll end up getting the point of equilibrium, and this is where everyone is satisfied. All right, so we got a point of equilibrium when we made demand curve and supply curves. All right, at equilibrium there is no surplus, no shortage. All right, now we have seen this, and we have seen it with the help of a table. At which price there is equilibrium, at which price and what quantity there is equilibrium in the demand and supply. Absolutely, guys. At price 60 and the quantity demanded is 25 and the quantity supplied is also 25, there is zero surplus, there is zero shortage. All right, yeah, that's that. Wonderful. All right, so now our today's agenda is elasticity of demand. We have to study elasticity of demand, we have to study income elasticity, we have to study cross elasticity, and we have to study increase and decrease and expansion and contraction of demand. That's the agenda for today. So guys, are we good to go? Are we ready? Good answers, Sonika, Ranjit, Subramanyam, Harshita, Hemant. Good answers, guys. So in economics, the demand elasticity refers to how sensitive the demand for a good is to change in the other economic variables such as price and consumers' income. So how much will the demand or the quantity demanded change depending on how much price changes, how much income changes? That is called as elasticity. So when the price changes and we check out the change in the demand, we are talking about price elasticity of demand. And when the income changes and when we check out how sensitive the demand has become to the change in income, we are checking the income elasticity of demand. So demand elasticity, all right, it's calculated as per the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in any economic variable. The higher demand elasticity for an economic variable means consumers are more responsible to the change in this variable. All right, so yeah, when you talk about price elasticity of demand, so what will be the change in the demand when the price changes? We get this by percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Elasticity of demand is responsiveness of the quantity demanded to the commodity changes in one of the variables. All right, and there are three types of price elasticities. There are three types of elasticity of demand. Price elasticity when the price changes. Price elasticity when the price changes. What is the impact on the demand? When there is income elasticity, how much the demand changes when the income increases or decreases. And the third one is cross elasticity, how much the demand changes if the price of related commodities, like what will be the impact of increase in the price of tea on the demand of coffee. So here the change in the variable of one commodity, we are checking the change in the demand of another commodity. This is cross elasticity. So guys, we shall study this in detail today. Let's start with price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand is the response of the quantity demanded to the change in the price of the commodity. It is assumed that consumers' income, taste and prices of all goods are steady. It is measured as a percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. EP is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. There's one more formula. What is EP? Coefficient of price elasticity of demand. What is EP? Coefficient of price elasticity of demand. This is the basic formula. There's one more formula. Change in quantity upon original price into original quantity upon change in price. Type of price elasticity of demand depends upon the extent of responsiveness of demand. The change in price is always not the same. The demand for a product can be elastic or inelastic, depending on the rate of change in demand with respect to change in the price of the product. Elastic demand is the one when the response of demand is greater with a small proportion change in the price. On the other hand, inelastic demand is the one when there's relatively less change in the demand with a greater change in the price. We will study this with the help of this diagram. So guys, in this example, right, the rate of the goods, the price of the goods remains same. Just check this out. The price of the good is $15 throughout, and if the price will change, people will refrain from buying your product. In such a case, when there will be dramatic change in the quantity demanded with a slight change in the price elasticity of demand is infinity. This happens, all right, infinite elasticity of demand. The value of EP, price elasticity of demand, is infinity. This happens in case of a vegetable market, tomato market. Like if one seller is selling it for 20 per kg, the other seller is selling it for 24 kg. The third seller will also have to sell it for 20 rupees per kg. Such market is called as which competition? Tell me. Such market is called as which competition? Where there are many buyers and many sellers and price cannot change. Tell me what kind of competition it is. On. Very good, Subramanya. Very good, Arshida. It is perfect competition. Such market where you cannot change the price. If you change the price, people will not buy from you. This is perfect competition characterized by many sellers buying identical products to many sellers selling identical products to many buyers. This is perfectly elastic demand. When the small change in the price causes a major change in the demand, it is said to be perfectly elastic. So guys, you cannot change the price here. Very good, Sharanya. You cannot change the price here. In perfectly elastic demand, a small rise in the price results in a fall in demand to zero, while a small fall in the price causes an increase in demand to infinity. In such a case, the demand is perfectly elastic. The value of EP is infinity. So that was perfectly elastic. When a small change in price of the product causes a major change in its demand. Perfectly elastic demand. Now let's check this. Now the previous graph was where EP was infinity. The demand was parallel to x-axis. Now the demand curve is perpendicular x-axis or parallel to y-axis. So guys, what is happening if the demand, what is happening to the demand? Just check this out from this curve. What is happening to demand when I increase the price to $10? What is the quantity demanded? 150. If I increase the price further to $20, what is the quantity demanded? It is still 150. If I increase it further to $30, the quantity demanded is still 150. So is the demand, is the percentage change in quantity demanded, is there any change? Is there any change in the quantity demanded? Yes or no? Is there any change? Sir, there is zero change. The people are unaffected by the change of rate. In such a case, the demand is inelastic. The demand doesn't change. The demand is inelastic. All right. The demand is inelastic. Zero elasticity demand curve. Perfectly inelastic demand is, the numerical value of perfectly inelastic demand is 0. All right. That's how it is. Perfectly inelastic demand. Inelastic means there is no response to the demand to the change in price. Where a perfectly inelastic demand is the one when there is no change produced in the demand of product with a change in its price. The numerical value for perfectly inelastic demand is 0. All right. So guys, two different graphs, two different values of EP. When it is parallel to x-axis, EP is infinity. When it is parallel to y-axis, EP is 0. In which case there is no change, no response to the change in the price. In which situation? Sir, in this situation. When there is no response, the demand is inelastic. There is no response. That means it is inelastic. All right. Now check this diagram. Check this. Which one is the price is changing? The quantity demanded is also changing. Which one is changing more? Just check out this graph and tell me which one is changing more. Yes, guys, absolutely correct. Quantity demanded changes by a larger percentage than does the price. In such a case, there is a small change in price, there is a small change in price, and there is a big change in the quantity demanded. Such situation is relatively elastic demand. Such situation is a relatively elastic demand, and the value of EP is, tell me what is the value of EP in this case. Come on, think of it and tell me what is the value of EP in this case. The value of EP in this case will be, which one is more? Numerator is more or denominator is more? Just check this out. The change in quantity demanded is more than percentage change in price. Therefore, it will be, it will be greater than 1. The value of EP, price elasticity of demand, will be greater than 1. It's a relatively elastic. Relatively elastic demand refers to the demand when the proportionate, very good Harshita. Relatively elastic demand refers to the demand when the proportionate change produced in the demand is greater than the proportionate change in the price of the product. The numerical value of relatively elastic demand ranges between 1 to infinity. Ranges between 1 to infinity. Guys, that is that. Now I'm giving you another diagram. Just check this out and tell me which one is changing more. The price is changing more or the quantity demanded is changing more. Which one is changing more? Take your own sweet time. Think of it. So the price change is like 40%, but the percentage change in demand is only 10%. So it is relatively inelastic. It is changing, but it is relatively inelastic. What will be the value of EP? Tell me the value of EP if that's the case. Tell me the value of EP in this scenario. Percentage change in quantity demanded is 10% and percentage change in price is 40%. It is 0.4. Yes, it is. It is less than 1. It is less than 1. That's why relatively inelastic demand. Well done, Harshita. Good answers, Subramanyam. Very good answers. Relatively inelastic demand is the one when the percentage change produced in demand is less than the percentage change in the price. For example, if the price of the product increases by 30% and the demand decreases only by 10%, the demand would be called relatively inelastic. The numerical value of relatively elastic demand ranges from 0 to 1. All right. In the exam, they might ask you to draw these diagrams because it's now a theoretical paper. Guys, the last of all these curves, all right, just check this out. Tell me the change in price or change in quantity demanded, which one is more or which one is less? Think of it. Check out this diagram. All right, absolutely correct answers, guys. The change in the price and change in the quantity demanded both are same. When numerator and denominator both are same, or tell me what is the value of EP When percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage in price, both are equal. When numerator and denominator both are equal. Yes, guys. Subramanya is on fire. The answer EP is equal to 1. Absolutely correct. Well done, guys. Unitary elastic demand. This is called as unitary elastic demand. So, Namrata, Subramanya, Harshita, Hemant, Sonika, all of you have got correct answers. When the proportionate change in demand produces the same change in the price of the product, the demand is referred to as unitary elastic demand. The numerical value for unitary elastic demand is equal to 1. So, guys, let's wrap this up. The various forms of price elasticity demand are the very first one. We are going for a quick recap. Perfectly elastic demand. What's the value of EP? Perfectly elastic demand. What's the value of EP? Tell me. Perfectly elastic. What's the value of EP? When I say perfectly elastic, what is the value of EP? Perfectly elastic? No. Come on, think of it. I'm saying perfectly elastic. What is the value of EP? Correct, Harshita. It is infinity. When I say perfectly inelastic demand, what's the value of EP? When I say perfectly inelastic demand, what's the value of EP? Come on, guys, quick answers. Perfectly inelastic. It means the demand doesn't change a bit. Yes, it's 0. Relatively elastic. So it's greater than 1. Relatively inelastic. It is lesser than 1. And unitary elastic demand, it is equal to 1. Alright. So yeah, these are the various forms of price elasticity depending on how much your demand has changed, depending on the change in the price. If the demand does not change, it is perfectly inelastic. The value of EP, coefficient of price elasticity, is 0. Alright. So guys, EP should be represented like this. EP, En small p, price elasticity. It should not be En capital P. Alright, so yeah, that's that. Guys, any doubts? Shall I teach you anything again? Any of these? Either of these? Alright, are we good to go? Namrata, Harshita, Subramanya, Sonika. Taranya, anything? All good? Shall we proceed? No doubts. All right, we move ahead. Elasticity of demand, factors affecting price elasticity of demand. What are the factors affecting price elasticity of demand? So what are the things which has an impact on, the price elasticity? These are the 8 points. The major point is price level. Second is availability of substitutes. Third is necessity. Fourth is time period. Fifth is habits. Sixth is nature of commodities. Then various uses, and then postponing consumption. The first one, let's study price level. The demand is generally elastic for moderately priced goods, but the demand for very costly and very cheap goods is inelastic. If the price of the good is moderate, then it is elastic. But if the price of the good is very costly or very cheap, the demand is generally inelastic. The rich people will buy it no matter what. And if the article is cheap, if you need it, you will buy it no matter what. But at moderately priced goods, the demand is generally elastic. The rich does not bother about the price of the goods that they buy. Very costly goods are demanded by rich people, and hence the demand is not affected much by changes in the price. For example, on the increase in price of Toyota car from 5 lakh rupees to 5,20,000 rupees, it will not make any noticeable difference in its demand. Similarly, change in the price of very cheap goods will not have any effect on their demand for the consumption, which is very small. For example, salt. Salt, you'll buy it even if it's for 10 rupees, even it's for 30 rupees, even it's for 50 rupees. All right. The very first factor is price level. The second factor is availability of substitutes. What is the substitute of Coca-Cola? Exactly this product. Availability of substitute. Yeah, absolutely correct. Pepsi, exact substitute you have. So, if a good has close substitute, the price elasticity demand for the commodity will be very elastic. Suppose the price of this tin can of Coca-Cola is rupees 50, and if they increase it to 80 rupees, people will switch over to Pepsi, all right, because the substitute is easily available. A small rise in the price of such commodity will induce consumers to switch their consumption. People will switch over from Coke to Pepsi if the price increases. For example, gas, kerosene oil, coal will be used more as a fuel if the price of wood increases. On the other hand, the demand for such commodities will have no close substitutes is inelastic, such as salt. Salt has no close substitute, so the demand is inelastic. All right, so guys, availability of the substitute is the second factor. All right, so guys, we are done with two things: factor affecting the price elasticity of demand, price level. If it is costly, the demand is inelastic. If it is very cheap, the demand is still inelastic. For the moderately priced products, the demand is elastic. Second point, availability of substitutes. If substitutes are available, people will switch over and thereby the demand will be elastic. This one. What is the substitute of basic food? What is, no, these are basic things, these are necessities. If a good is a necessity, then the demand will be inelastic. For example, if the price of drinking water rises, there is unlikely to have a huge drop in the quantity demanded, since drinking water is a necessity. So if it is necessity, the demand will be inelastic. People will have to buy it, no matter how costly, no matter how costly the food is, no matter how costly the food is, no matter how costly our water supply is, no matter how costly the LPG gas is, still have to buy it because it's a necessity, and necessity, the demand is inelastic. So if we have a lot of time to buy goods, if we have a lot of time to buy goods, if you have a lot of time to buy goods, so how will be the demand? If you have a lot of time to buy goods, lot of time, we can buy it tomorrow, we can buy it after 1 month, if you can buy it after 6 months, the demand will be. The demand, very good Subramanya, the demand will be elastic. Over a period, a good tends to become more elastic because consumers and business have more time to find alternatives. If the price of gasoline goes up, over time period will adjust to the change. They may drive less or use public transport or form carpools. Carpool means sharing someone else's car, sharing a bike, sharing a taxi. All right, that's carpooling. When you have more time to think, the demand is generally elastic. Smokers, if the price of cigarettes increases by 50%, will smokers care or will they buy it even if it's costlier now? Sir, if it is a habit, if it is an addiction, then it is inelastic. The demand for addictive or habitual products is usually inelastic. This is because consumers has no choice but no pay whatever the producer is demanding. Okay, you'll have to pay, no choice, but you'll have to pay whatever the producer is demanding. For example, if the price of the pack of cigarettes goes up, it will likely not have any effect on the demand. You will have to pay for it. Nature of commodities. The demand for necessities is inelastic and those of comforts and luxuries is elastic. This is so because certain goods which are essential will be demanded at any price, whereas goods meant for luxuries, it should be. In the module, what is given? Goods is given or goods is given? Goods meant for luxuries and comforts can be dispensed with easily if they appear to be costlier. Guys, we can always postpone buying a car because it's luxury, but we cannot live without food. So food is basic, that's why inelastic, but buying a car is luxury, elastic. This is milk. So guys, milk. What are the various uses of milk? Tell me. What can we do with milk? List me down the various uses. Uses of milk. Come on, where do we use milk in? Milky bar. Very good, Subramanya. Milky bar. Sweet ice cream can be used for making desserts. Paneer. Correct, correct, correct. So guys, there are various uses. A commodity which has several uses will have elastic demand like milk, wood, electricity. On the other hand, a commodity having only one or fewer uses will have inelastic demand. The consumer finds it easier to adjust quantity demanded of a good when it is used for satisfying several wants than if it is confined to a single or few uses. Confined means limited. For this reason, multi-use goods tend to have more elastic demand. So if it is costly, then people will use it to limited purposes. When it is cheaper, people will use it for n number of uses. So guys, various uses. The example is milk, wood, and electricity. Electricity, they didn't highlight properly, sorry. Electricity. So these have got multiple uses. More the use, the more elastic the demand will be. And the last one, postponing consumption. So if we can easily postpone consumption, usually the demand for commodities, the consumption of which can be postponed, is elastic as the prices rise and are expected to fall again. For example, demand for MP3 is elastic because its use can be postponed for some time if its price goes up. But demand for rice and wheat is inelastic because their use cannot be postponed when the prices increase. So guys, if I want to buy a phone, I can postpone the demand. If I want to buy this economics book, I can. For economics, I can easily postpone the demand. But when I'm talking about rice, wheat, I cannot postpone the use of this. I'll have to buy it now and now if I don't have it. So we can postpone it, it is elastic. If you cannot postpone it, it is inelastic. Guys, these are the various factors affecting price elasticity of demand. I feel they might ask questions on this. All right, guys, go through all the 8 points and let me know which one you did not understand. I'll help you with it again. All right, guys, all good? Any doubts at any point of time? No? All right. So guys, yeah, we have checked it out, everything. Then income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity, price elasticity is represented by EP. Income elasticity is represented by EY. It is nothing else but, income elasticity is nothing else but percentage change in demand upon percentage change in income. Many authors write it as EI. Many authors write it as EY. So percentage change in demand upon percentage change in income. Thank you, Sonika, for replying. So there are various formulae. Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income, or percentage in quantity demanded is equal to new quantity demanded upon original quantity demanded. Percentage in income, new income, that is delta y, upon original income, that is delta y. And symbolically, EY is equal to delta Q upon Q into delta Y upon Y. So what is income elasticity? Again, whatever in price elasticity, we were dividing it by the percentage change in price. Here, we are dividing it by percentage change in income. The rest of the formula remains the same. Income elasticity is the degree of response of a demand to the change in income. So if a person's income increases, will he try to buy more? Yes, he will. We have to check how much more he'll buy. That will be income elasticity. Professor Watson defines income elasticity of demand is the rate of change of quantity with respect to changes in income, other determinants remaining constant. Other determinants remaining constant, what's the word for it? Other determinants remaining constant. What's the word for it? Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus also. All right, some people will say. So yeah, we have seen this. Income elasticity of demand can be of 5 different types. These are tabulated below. So they have not explained much. No graph work is there for income elasticity. So negative demand for the commodity falls as if the income increases, the demand for the commodity falls. The trend is visible in case of inferior goods. Guys, tell me what kind of goods these are called. We have studied this in the last lecture. What kind of goods these are called? It doesn't follow the law of demand. If the price, okay, the income increases, people try not to buy those in more quantity. If in goods, people don't try to buy more quantity. Zero demand for a commodity does not change as income changes. It is true in case of essential goods. Even if the income changes, I'll still buy the same quantity. Greater than 0 but lesser than 1. Demand for commodity rises in proportion to the rise of income. And unity, demand for commodity rises in the same proportion as the rise in income. Greater than unity, demand for commodity rises more than the proportion to rise in income. All right. So yeah, these are the numerical measures and these are the verbal descriptions. So not every commodity is demanded more. Not every commodity is demanded more. If your income increases, if your lifestyle increases, all right, it may happen so that you might not consume the basic bajra, the basic ingredients like bajra and jowar. You may completely switch over to wheat. It might happen so. So depending on the commodity, the elasticity will change. Tea and coffee, how are they related to each other? Tell me. Tea and coffee, how are they related to each other? Tea and coffee, how are they related to each other? I want tea for freshness. I want coffee for freshness. So they are substitutes. When these goods are substitutes, all right, so what will happen if the price of the tea increases? What will happen to the demand of coffee? When we try to figure out the change in the demand of coffee because of the change or increase in the price of tea, we are finding cross elasticity. We are finding cross elasticity. So the responsiveness of the demand to change in the price of the related commodities called price elasticity. Sorry, cross elasticity. Professor Watson defines cross elasticity demand is the rate of change in the quantity associated with the change in the price of related goods. Thus, cross elasticity demand is the responsiveness of the demand for commodity X to change in the price of commodity Y. Cross elasticity is represented by EC, percentage change in quantity demanded of A divided by percentage increase in quantity demanded of A divided by percentage increase in the price of product B. Right. So there are two types of goods. There are two types of related goods, substitute and complementary. Substitute, what is the example of substitute goods? Tea and coffee. Okay. And pen and ink. What kind of goods they are to each other? Substitutes or complementary? Pen and ink. They are substitutes or complementary to each other? Come on, tell me. Correct. They are complementary goods. So guys, what will happen if the price of tea increases? Like coffee is, say, I don't know how much rupee per kg. Suppose coffee is 200 rupees per kg. And now tea also becomes 200 rupees per kg. Will the demand for coffee increase? If the price of substitute goods increases, the price of our good, the main good, the demand for our good also increases. There's a direct relation. There's a direct relation. Therefore, the relationship would be positive. The cross elasticity shows positive sign that tea and coffee are substitute goods. The cross elasticity show positive signs that tea and coffee are substitute. If the price of tea increases, people will switch over to coffee. So, no, how much will be the price of tea increase? That much amount the quantity demanded, that much amount the quantity will be demanded for coffee. When it comes to complementary goods, if the price of ink increases, people will use pen less. If the cross elasticity shows negative sign, then those are complementary goods. So guys, like if the price of ink increases, or if the price of petrol increases, the demand for car will be less. If the price of sugar increases, the demand for tea will also decrease. These are complementary goods. So guys, cross elasticity is of three types. The relation between X and Y commodities may be substitutive, as in case of tea and coffee, can be complementary, as in case of ball pens and refills. We used ink as an example. Main measures for cross elasticity are: cross elasticity is infinity if they are perfect substitutes. If they are perfect substitutes, value of EC is infinity. Then cross elasticity is 0 if they are not related to each other. If what will be the demand, what will be the change in demand of iPhone if the cost of bottle, if the price of bottle increases? Is there any relation? Tell me. So what will happen? These two are entirely different products. There will be no change. There is no relation. Yeah. So they are not related. Cross elasticity is 0. And when cross elasticity is negative, commodities X and Y are complementary. Thus, if EC approaches infinity, it means that commodity X is nearly a perfect substitute for commodity Y. On the other hand, if EC approaches 0, it would mean that two commodities in question are not related at all. EC shall be negative when commodity Y is complementary to commodity X. All right, guys. Any doubts? So what all we have done today? We have done elasticity of demand, and we have done three types of elasticities. We did price elasticity. Coefficient of price elasticity is, tell me the coefficient of price elasticity. EP. What is the coefficient of income elasticity? EY. And what is the coefficient of cross elasticity? EC. All right. So yeah, remember these formulas and remember the impact. You will be able to answer this properly. Right. So yeah, remember this: factors affecting price elasticity of demand. They may ask you the entire list. They may ask you particularly, any of them to explain. They may give you the diagram for doing analysis, and I'll ask you, all right, it is whether, what is the value of EP? They can ask you this. Also, they can put in a question across by telling you the two goods are substitutes. What will be the cross elasticity? Will it be positive? How is it related? And what are the various types of main measures of cross elasticity? If the cross elasticity is infinity, then they are perfect substitutes. If they are not related, then the cross elasticity is 0. And if they are complementary to each other, the cross elasticity is negative. All right. So guys, are we good to test your knowledge now? Shall we? Giving you some easy questions. All right. Try to solve it. All right, guys. Everyone ready? Are we in? All right. Quite a few students have joined. Are you ready? The students who are watching it live can attend the quiz in person, but the students who are not watching it live can just see the answers and self-evaluate. All right, first question. Are you ready? Go, go, go. The following pairs is a good example of substitutes: tea and sugar, tea and coffee, pen and ink, shirt and trousers. Easy. It is tea and coffee. Tea and sugar, pen and ink, shirt and trousers are complementary goods. They are not substitutes. So Namrata is right on top, followed by Vinyasini, Khushi, Sharanya, Naif, Elsa, Ranjita, Oti, Theju, and Yashoda. All right, 4 more questions to go. Come on, fight it back. Go, go, go. Demand for milk is elastic because it is very expensive. It has a number of close substitutes. It has alternative uses. None of the above. Demand for milk is elastic because milk can be put to paneer, paneer, peda, Pilkova, Dharwad peda, Alkova, sweet ice cream, because it has alternative uses. Well done. Namrata. So Sharanya, Elsa, Vinyasini, Knife, Boti Mein Cafe, Ranjita, Teju. Alright, chalo. Difficult question. Alright. It is related to buttons. Buttons of our shirt, top, trousers. Alright. Go, go, go. So demand for buttons when it comes to income, how is it elastic? Income point of view, zero, because no matter how rich you are, how poor you are, if you need a button, if I need a button here, I'll need a button here. I'll buy it irrespective of my income. Easy question it was. Zero. Sharanya gathering some. Oh no, Sharanya. Vinyasini right on top again. Sharanya second, Elsa, Ranjita, and Boti. Last question. Are you ready? No, no, no. Two more questions to go. Sorry. Go, go, go. Commodity X and Y are not related. What will the value of EC? The value of EC will be 0. Cross elasticity will be 0. If the price of iPhone increases, what will be the change in demand of this water bottle? It will be demanded, no matter, it is not, the product are not related. They are not substitutes, they are not complementary, they are nothing. The value of EC cross elasticity is 0. Lot of brownie points, 1 here. Elsa has gathered some points here. Oh God, things are changing very fast here. The quiz is moving. Last question, are you ready? Go, go, go. What are the factors? Sorry. What are the factors affecting price elasticity of demand? Necessities, time period, habits, all of the above. Easy question. This was all of the above. If it is necessity, it affects the price elasticity. Time period, if we have more time, it is more elastic. Necessities, it's elastic. Habits, they are inelastic. Yes, guys, all these factors. Let's check out the final leaderboard position. All right. So guys, the correct, just a moment. Let me make changes. Just a moment. We have selected no. We have selected no answer as the correct answer. My bad. The correct answer is all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. Let's check out the final leaderboard position. Vinyasini, Elsa, Sharanya are in the hunt. Vinyasini has done it the fastest, I guess. And Vinyasini is the winner. Vinyasini first, Sharanya second, Elsa third, Ranjita and Boti. All these students have done no answer wrong. Well done, guys. All right. So yes, we are done. Oh no, I've asked you question on this X and Y. I made the question right now in front of you. So if they are not related, the value of EC is 0. If there are perfect substitutes, the value of EC is infinity. And if they are complementary, the value of EC is negative. All right. Then we studied EY, income elasticity, how much change in the income affects. All right. And we have seen the factors affecting price elasticity of demand. All right, all these factors. The last question was on this. Then they may ask you, they may give you a curve, all right, and the value of EP is infinity. Explain. They can ask you to explain the graph in the exam. All right. So yeah, that's that. We concentrated on elasticity of demand today. Price elasticity we studied. We studied income elasticity. and we also studied cross elasticity of demand. In the next lecture, we shall study increase and decrease of demand. We will also study expansion and contraction of demand, some graph work there. Then we'll see forms of market competition, and then we shall see the types of price elasticity of supply. Today we checked out price elasticity of demand. In the next lecture, we shall see the price elasticity of today we see price elasticity of demand. The next lecture we shall see price elasticity of supply. All right, guys. All right, that's that. Then if you have any doubts whatsoever, you can always Instagram DM me. I'm just a DM away. All right, this is Pavan Gahukar signing off. See you in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Study well. Bye bye, guys.